we have adhesives. So one thing you want to make sure is if you're doing paper mache, it's okay to use Elmer's glue and water it down with some water, thin it out. But if you're doing presentations and you need like your presentation material, do not use liquid glue. It is going to wrinkle your paper the more liquid it is. So just don't even leave that as an option, just chuck those. And then glue sticks. This is a better quality brand, so go on clear. You can actually get the ones that go on purple so you can see where your glue is, and then it'll go invisible. Again, it's a liquid adhesive. Well, not quite liquid, but it's a semi-solid. And this will still wrinkle your paper to some extent, so make sure to smooth it out. If you're in high school, it's okay to use this, but once you get to college, you need to start using tape. So, there are two different kinds of invisible standard tape. This one, there's different thickness or widths, as you can see, and this one's more invisible, but it's super duper cheap and it doesn't stick as well. Whereas this one, which you can see is not as invisible, I find sticks better. This was 88 cents, so that's a super duper deal. But if you buy them in big bulk packs and they're on sale, it'll last you a lot longer. And yeah, I just always have tape on hand. But with presentations, especially once you get into college and the working world, do not let your tape show. It should be on the back. But at the same time, you don't want the paper to look like it's standing off, and that's why you use double-sided tape. So again, these come in different widths, different strengths. This one is poster and document. This one is just poster, so they come in different strengths. You only need it in the corners, and depending on how long it is, then you just put one in the middle. So, these are really good, but if you're getting double-sided tape, one side is going to be exposed, so you want to keep them in their own bags because you don't want any gunk to get on it, like pencil shavings from your pencil case or anything like that. So keep it in its own bag. Another thing to invest in are cans of adhesive. They're $10. They're like hairspray. You spray it on the back, you put it immediately on your board, make sure to smooth it out, and keep it on hand just before your presentation just to do some final touch-ups, because sometimes, depending on how far in advance you did your poster, the paper might start falling off. So keep that in mind. Next up are scissors. So you can get it in different lengths and different sizes. This is actually, this is called pinking shears, or even just pinking scissors. Shears are actually for if you're in fashion, you're using it for fabric, and you can get it in different patterns. I have a whole bunch upstairs which I haven't had a chance to use because they don't work on fabric as much as I would like them to. So they're great for scrapbooking. You can get these at the dollar store. I don't know about these, but this is where I got mine. It has a nice handle on it. Good grip. This is stainless. When you're buying scissors, if you are in fashion and working with fabrics, do not mix your scissors. One should be for paper and one should be for fabric. Because what happens is if you take your fabric scissors and you use it on paper, you're going to dull it. And then when you go back to use it on fabric, you're going to snake your fabric. So always have something separate. So one for paper, one for fabric. Yay! Post-its! I love Post-its. I love having lots of colors to coordinate all my stuff and have everything so organized. These are all from the dollar store. So you can get it in multitudes of colors. This is 400 sheets, or each 100. That'll last me forever because I'm constantly being a secretary in the house and taking phone calls and making notes for people and sticking it on the mirror wherever they can see it. So I need Post-its for everything. I like tabs. So if I'm going through a book and I want to bookmark a certain page, I'll use my tabs. And this one's really good. I don't use binders, but they're still really good. You can put this in your binder. It has Post-its and tabs. So when you're studying or you're making your notes, you can have everything so organized. Rulers. There are different shapes, there are different uses, there are different materials. This is broken in half. You can't really, it's broken. I since replaced it. This is the one that I got at Fanshawe when it was in fashion design. It's 2 inches long, it's in a little grid, so it's really good for doing seam allowance, and it's 18 inches wide, and it's something like $5–6 last time I checked. So they're really, really good. This is a metal one. If you're doing cutting with an X-Acto knife, do not use plastic. Use a metal ruler. Because the last thing you want to do is start doing little nicks on your side, and then when you go to use a ruler and you need a straight line, it's not going to be a straight line. So, this is interesting. You can get it, it's like a little triangle star or whatever. So like I said, you can get in different sizes. I am accustomed to using inches, just because with our seam allowances everything was in fractions. But if you're in centimeters, make sure to get one with both. Yay! Note paper! This is lined paper, of course. This stuff goes in your binder. This is super duper cheap because this is a dollar store brand. Hillbroy has their own too. You can get those super duper cheap because they're always, that's their whole shtick is lined paper. You can get different numbers. So if you've got a class that you're not taking a lot of notes in, just use something with a smaller number. Don't waste paper or a notebook. I like this. This is $2 and it has a little divider in the middle, so then I can double up my classes. I don't like using binders simply because I don't like having my hand in the way, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I usually stick with the lined paper and just use a folder. Okay, we're going to go on to blank paper and drawing paper. This is all even at the bottom, and they're different lengths. This first one up here is an 8.5 by 11, and this other longer one behind it is an 8.5 by 14. I like these because I like to fold them in half, do my doodles, turn it over, do my doodles, and just keep them stacked and all organized before I put them in my notebook. Because as you can see, I've already started drawing. These are all my old ones. So with drawing paper for art class, if you're doing charcoal or anything like that, the paper will actually tell you charcoal, pastel, pencil, and other dry media. So whenever you draw, getting a drawing pad, make sure to look and see what it's for. Normally these pads are for dry media, but just double check. And they also have different hand. So this one is a lot smoother than, say, this one. This one has a little bit more hand. So when you're picking your paper, if you're going to be using all of these different kinds of media, get the one with more hand, because it'll hold that compressed powder that you're using a lot better. And when you're doing that, also keep on, like if you're doing it a lot, make sure to keep a can of hairspray, because paper does not hold powder. You need to give it a little extra hold. So I just do these for pencils and drawing, so I don't really need hairspray, but if I were to do pastels and charcoal and stuff, I would. Like I said, I use folders. So here are a couple of folders. This one is just one of those presentation folders. It's got the little pockets in here. So these are really great when you gotta hand something in. And then this one is clear. It can go on your binder, which is really, really good. If you're doing a presentation and the room's really quiet, the last thing you want to do is hear this clicking sound, people opening up the documents to get the paper presentation that's inside. So keep that in mind. I like to stock them in advance. These are the ones that slide. They're going to be uber, super silent, and that's the ones that you want. They're just as professional. They're different colors. and they're clear. They don't have a pattern on it. Imagine me walking into your room and handing these out. What do you think they would think of me? Little butterflies, and I'm trying to do a professional business presentation. Use plain, clear. If you can, use white. If you need to use colors, make sure it's plain. There's no pattern on it. But I still like these because this one is thin, so that would just be for my hand ends. This one's going to hold my notepad and any extra papers that I need to. So that's, like I said, I like to use these. When I put my papers in here, I date them. I put a number in the top right corner and I number them so that they're all in order, because I'm not going to put like a ring or anything through it. I'm just going to shove everything in there. Okay, and we're almost done. If I use a binder, it's to organize my project. So I did use this one when I started out. This is not a binder, although it deceptively looks like it could be one. I used this from a final collection until I realized it wasn't thick enough and I had too much stuff in here. But I love the fact that it has all these different compartments. And I flip this up and there's another one. And then there's this. This is separate. These are both at the dollar store. I think this one was about $2. This was about $1. It came with my page protectors in here. But the thing is, it started coming out the seams because they're not, like, they started ripping at the top, and they're obviously very, very cheap. So if you're taking stuff in and out, then you want to get a separate binder with page protectors, or just a binder and hole punch them. You'll have to have a hole punch on hand because sometimes professors don't hole punch it for you in advance. If it's just putting it in there for reference, these are going to be fine, but if you're going to take it in and out, so I just slid that into the back, and there's that one. I color coordinated mine, of course. This one's got the binder, so this is what I want to show you. My notepad's right here, and my hand's always getting in the way, and I hate that. The professors won't hole punch the pages so that I'm putting it in, and it just looks so cruddy because as I'm trying to turn the pages back and forth through the notes, the holes just start tearing because they're not round, and it just becomes a big sloppy mess. I hate it. So I don't really use binders unless I'm just organizing my stuff, and I'm not taking stuff in and out or anything. Last but not least, I always make sure that I have backup of all my stuff. This one just happens to be a pencil case. There's all my colors of highlighters, some drawing pens. You can't see the back of this, but these are my mechanical pencil refills. I have my pens, my regular Papermate pens that I was using, and it has my eraser. I have backups of everything because I know I'm going to need it, or I'm going to use it, or somebody else is going to need it, and they're super duper cheap, so I don't care that I've got, you know, all this stuff on hand. I like to be handy for myself and my friends. I like to have everything because you never know what you're going to need. So always keep a backup. It's $1 for a couple of extra items. It's really worth it. And this nice little one, it'll fit in your binder. So you always have it on hand.